Buff Nation
Squad.
Welcome in to a virtual studio, DNVR Buffs Live. It's the final week of the season. Oh my Lord. We made it here. It's finally here, or it's too soon. Where are you at with your feelings on the end of the season, Scotty?
I'm right where my feet are, bro. You feel me? We're here. We're living in the moment. It's the last week of the season, like you said. Kind of bittersweet, right? Because I think a lot of people, including certainly you, probably both of us, it's a season
Definitely
that
both of us.
is probably a season that has been long overdue to be over with. Just with how things have transpired, but it's still football. It's still another opportunity this week. Still a lot that could happen, a lot to potentially be proven, in any game this weekend on the road against a Kansas State football team. But that's where I'm at with it right now, bro. How are you feeling on this beautiful Monday morning?
I'm upset. I'm mad. We only get 12 of these games. We only get 3 months of a season, and it just went down the drain halfway through, and it sucks, man. It really sucks. Lost football seasons are just I don't know. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth because there's so much buildup. There's so much anticipation. We love this shit so much, and to watch it blow up and just have these lost seasons, it really sucks. It really sucks. It's literally like watching your life just pass you by type of thing, honestly. I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, you make it sound a lot worse than I think it actually is. I ain't gonna lie, but I think that's valid, bro. I think the point that you make about we spend 6-8 months, previewing your season, like building hype, building excitement for your season, talking about a season, talking about new additions and what this player might do, what this coach his impact he might have, and then, like you mentioned, you get to the middle of October and it's like, well. Yeah. But it'd be like that sometimes, like we talk about perspective a lot of times on the show, right? And you just watch a full slate of college football sometimes and you see some programs that are in bad shape. You know what I'm saying? And clearly Colorado football program isn't where anybody wants it to be or where it should be right now, but it can get worse. I can assure you that because we see it every Saturday. But it doesn't excuse where we're at here at this point, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that.
I mean, totally. There's a lot to be optimistic about, despite where we are in this season, 3-8. 17.5-point underdogs going into your final game of the season on the road.
Yeah, 17.5. That's a little much, ain't it? I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's right on point. What do you make of that? Is that about right? Too much? Too little?
I don't blame them. I mean, you can put whatever line you want on this team at this point for all I care, because, I mean, you're really going to find out what they're made of this week. Like, honestly, like, are you able to like kind of put all that aside, get pissed off and line up and play for your brothers one more time? Can you do that? Can you go and prove that there is some excitement and there's something to be optimistic about when it comes to this football team? Or are you just going to lay down again? You've laid down enough times this year. Are you going to say enough is enough? Like, honestly, this is like a what are you made of type of week. Clearly, it doesn't matter. It's just purely for the pride of the game, for the love of the game, love of your teammates, love of your coaches. Show me how much you care this week. That's all it is.
Yeah, the watch on the effort part of things this week will be high, right? Because I think that's really all, like you said, it's really all you're playing for at this point for both teams. Right, Kansas State's out of it. They've had, and when I said earlier about it could always be worse. Look at the expectations Kansas State had this season.
Yes,
and where they're at this year. You know what I'm saying? But two teams are kind of in a similar boat, not playing for much. I mean, we talked about it after the game, Jake, on Saturday. Chris Kleiman, Kansas State head coach.
Oh boy,
that man down bad right now. And if y'all haven't caught a glimpse of Chris Kleiman's post-game presser Saturday after they blew a massive multiple touchdown lead at Utah. I mean, Chris Kleiman was in tears, like literal actual tears, had to be consoled by his athletic director in the midst of his post-game pressure. So that's a coach who, again, had a lot of high expectations, watched it all go to waste and is now, again, going into a season finale with really playing for nothing other than maybe recruits in the future. Nothing more than pride, pretty much. So it'll be interesting to see who shows up, and what that game looks like, because it certainly is. We'll talk about it later, maybe, but it's at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Central Time, local time. Appropriate timing for those two teams with the seasons that they've had.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great point. You're both in the same spot. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is just, who's going to have more pride in themselves and their teammates and their football program.
Right.
Yeah, K-State is a rudderless ship at sea at this point. I mean, so is Colorado too, but we'll see. Do you have any thoughts? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying appropriate into the season.
You have any thoughts on what happened Saturday?
I mean, my biggest thought coming out of that game is, I guess, something we already knew, something that we had talked about, something that we had alluded to in the past, but the coaching staff just has to be completely overhauled. Completely. You lose 4 games in a row now. You lose 5 games this season by 14 plus points. So that's half the games that you've played this year. You've been non-competitive pretty much. You have 1 Big 12 win. If things go south again on Saturday, you will be 3-9 on the season. That would be the worst finish of the Coach Prime era. I didn't think anybody really thought it would get worse, at least record-wise, than 2023 when the Buffs won 4-8. And if you somehow, again, fall underneath that low bar in year 3, you have to look at completely overhauling the coaching staff. Now, I don't think that means everybody has to go, because I do think there are some promising aspects of this coaching staff. Some position coaches on offense. I would certainly give Robert Livingston at least 1 more year. This is still a young coach, a young coordinator who you less than a year ago made the highest paid assistant in Colorado football history. But the position coaches on the defensive side of the ball, I would take a look at each and every one of them. And I would consider moving on potentially from each and every one of them. Because as much as we want to talk about the players and the execution, and we have to, because there, as we talked about, there are a lot of misses in the transfer portal this offseason that impacted this team negatively. The coaching staff has to be overhauled. There has to be like significant systemic change in the philosophy in the coaching of this football team, because let's be for real, Coach Prime not going anywhere, and he shouldn't go anywhere, but everything around him just about has to change, particularly with the coaching staff. So, I saw Chip Kelly was fired this morning, Raiders OC. Now, I personally don't like that idea to bring him in as the OC, but as Matt H pointed out on Twitter, our guy Go Buffs 22, I believe his @ name is. Somebody Coach Prime has some affinity for, clearly. Some love for. But like I said, I'm not a fan of the Chip Kelly potential hire bringing in as OC, but that is certainly, I said this a few weeks ago, that's priority number 1 this offseason, finding that OC, because Julian Lewis, as we know, is the face of this thing right now from a player perspective, if it's not Jordan Seaton. And every decision made this offseason has to be made with Juju in mind. And I don't know from your perspective if it seemed like the redshirt can of worms was reopened potentially after the game. But Juju just pretty much said he was unsure. And I don't really know if that's worth talking about right now. But either way, all those decisions have to be made with Julian in mind. And it starts with the coaching staff and completely overhauling that thing, ripping that thing down to the studs, and getting youthful, creative energy into this coaching staff.
Someone who's gonna, look, man, you got to get on this now.
Now.
Signing day is next Tuesday. It's right around the corner. You're already starting roster construction for next year. Portal is in about a month. You got to get this hire in as quick as possible. at the same time, while doing as much background and, you have to do a full search. Like, this isn't just we have this guy in mind, like he's, ready here. I mean, maybe Byron Leftwich is the guy. I don't know. I don't know what his plans are moving forward, but they need to do a whole search. You need to find someone who can help recruiting. You need to find someone that Julian Lewis, like you said, can relate to, can, help build an offense with. And you need someone who can just take a look at what happened this year, the last 2 years, really, last year and a half, and look at that and, point out the issues and try and, I guess not just like pick on, what was wrong, but like this offense has to make sense. Like it doesn't make sense right now. It didn't make sense last year either.
It really didn't.
So I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see how quick this goes. But they got to get this guy in, whoever it is, as quick as possible. You got to you really got to flush the season down the drain as fast as possible. You got to move on and just try and, refocus and shift forward. When it comes to Julian's redshirt, though, I sounded like he truly hasn't been thinking about it. That's what I took from, his press conference and what he said after the game.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still talking about next year. And he also mentioned the live reps thing. I mean, we talked about that too. That's the way to get better, live reps. So I'd be shocked, honestly, if Julian doesn't play on Saturday.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't be shocked, but I would be a bit surprised because, again, it's just one game, right? And, again, one game could be 50 plays, could be 35 pass attempts, which could be really valuable in a live setting for a guy as young and as inexperienced as Juju is. But ultimately, that's just going to come down to him and his family, right? And what they think is best for his future. And that's really what it's going to be. But yeah, man, like I said, every decision this offseason has to be made with intent and with Julian Lewis in mind, man, because that's the way out. That's the way out of this 3-9 potentially season, is you finding a rock star offensive coordinator who can go to the moon with Julian Lewis. And that instantly becomes the identity of this program, is that you got a young, maybe potentially true sophomore quarterback or a redshirt freshman quarterback who the whole program believes in, who has the help and the guidance of a young, creative, offensive mind who can, like I said, who those guys can grow together with. Because as we've talked about, there are pieces in place. There are cornerstones in place from a player perspective on both sides of the ball. But 8 guys isn't enough. Cornerstone players aren't enough, especially as we've seen this year when injuries come into play and when you're going against opponents like a Kenny Dillingham who can draw some stuff up, you know what I'm saying, and utilize the strengths, the skill sets of their players. And when you're not doing that as a team, as an offense, as a unit, it gets shown a light on, and we all see it. Everybody sees it vividly, and we can't have another season of that. And that, like I said, that starts with Coach Prime taking this search. Like, he has to, and not that he hasn't in the past, but like he has to really be hands-on with this search, because you can kind of think of, like, after the Sean Lewis thing, like Shermer was just there, and he was like, oh, he's here, so we got comfortability here.
Exactly.
And that's what we can't do again this time around. And that's part of the reason why I don't like Chip Kelly. And I'll just say this about Chip Kelly, because people are talking about it in the chat, and obviously it's going to continue to be brought up. They need to go younger at offensive coordinator, not older. Believe it or not, Chip Kelly is older than Pat Shermer. And people might say, well, you won a national championship, 2 seasons ago as Ohio State's offensive coordinator. Sure. That team had a boatload of talent on both sides of the ball. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if Chip Kelly had to do a bunch. And in terms of, as we talk about creativity, that OC has to have. Did the Raiders look creative offensively this year? No. And they had talent. People think Brock Bowers is good. People think Ashton Genty is good. They paid Geno Smith a good amount of money. And that offense didn't look creative. So, like I said, they need to go younger at OC, in my opinion, not older.
Yeah, I mean, so when we were talking about OCs, what was this, 2 years ago? Chip Kelly was I think a popular name. We threw it in there when we were doing coach and search stuff back then, and
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, look, at UCLA, it was touch and go. Like, I really liked the run game they had there. Zach Charbonnet was incredible at UCLA, and Chip Kelly I thought was really good in terms of like mixing up personnel sets and all that. But yeah, I mean, at this point, man, you can't do the same thing just with a different coat of paint. You know what I mean? Exactly. You do need to find someone younger who the players can relate to, not just Julian, all the players. And, you know, you need literally, I said this a couple weeks ago, you need the Robert Livingston on offense, pretty much. That's exactly what you need this offseason. I don't know what that sounds like or what that looks like exactly, but that's what I need to see from this team. I'd feel way more comfortable and confident in what this team can do moving forward if you find someone like that who can help this team just truly, I don't know, kind of reach that next the team needs to evolve. You know, they can't just stay stagnant. You need to take a next step as a program, next step as a coaching staff. The players need to take the next steps as well. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of names that we talk about and throw out there. This thing's about to kick off into full gear, man. And it's already going to start. The coaching carousel has started. It's been going since September, actually, this year. And it's about to kick into high gear. You know, everyone's going to have to really just hold on to their seats at this point because it's about to be crazy. A lot of names flying around, and hopefully Colorado is aggressive, but also they know exactly what they're looking for and they go and find it as quick as possible. All right.
So, man,
let's take our first break, or our only break, and then we'll talk Shedeur in the Big 12. Tell the people about Taco Bell.
Shout out to the squad over at Taco Bell, man. Check it out, man. If you haven't tried the new Cantina chicken menu, bro, what are you doing? You are in for a treat, man. Taco Bell has that new era of chicken, man. A new flavorful chicken, slow roasted, perfectly seasoned with those Mexican spices. You can add some premium ingredients as well, man. Some pico de gallo, for example, that's freshly prepared daily. Man, you can get it in a burrito, or you can get it inside a chicken quesadilla for just an unforgettable meal, man. So get yours today at your nearest Taco Bell. And don't forget to add on a $7 Buffs box, man. You already know what that is, man. 4 Taco Bell classics in there, a large drink, and the CU Buff Player Collectible Cup. Taco Bell, as you guys know, is a proud sponsor of CU Athletics and is donating $1,000 to the Golden Buffalo Scholarship Foundation for every CU touchdown scored. Y'all know Buffs love the Bell, man. Shout out to Taco Bell.
Shout out to our friends also at Bet365. The squad had incredible.
What a weekend, bro.
Amazing,
tremendous.
All the words is the type of weekend the squad had on Bet365. A lot of fun. And also, again, another thing that makes me sad because it's like I look at that and I'm like, well, let's enjoy our one last full week of college football and football betting. So, yeah, let's finish strong, man, and ring in the offseason with our friends over at Bet365. They got the early money line payout offers, 17 points or more in football, both college and the NFL, 3 goals in the NHL. You can also get it on basketball and pretty much any other sport that they do over at Bet365 as well. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up. Use the code DNVR365. Deposit $10 and place a bet of $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Let's pull up, before we move on too far from Taco Bell, let's pull up our Taco Bell touchdown tracker again. Let's take one more look at that, eh?
Final or not final. One more week of touchdown tracker. Let's take some guesses here, Scotty. We're at 31 touchdowns. Taco Bell already was going to donate $10,000 plus $1,000 for every touchdown this season on top. That's $41,000 to the Golden Buffalo Scholarship Foundation Fund. Put a number on it. How many we getting this weekend?
4. We're getting 4 this weekend to finish with exactly 35 touchdowns on the season. That's what I'm expecting. I think Julian Lewis throws at least 3. I think we get a rushing touchdown as well. That'll get us to 35 touchdowns, man. Shout out to Taco Bell, man. It's been a season. I feel like there should have been a lot more.
Absolutely,
there certainly should have been a lot more. But what's your favorite touchdown of the season, bro? Looking back on it, after 11 games, what immediately comes to your mind for you?
O's head tap a couple weeks ago.
I was literally about to say which Omarion Miller touchdown, actually, because I knew it was going to be one of those.
The Iowa State one was pretty big just because from what it meant that moment in time in the season, too.
Yeah.
That's really like the bright spot of the season at this point as well, also. So it's just nice to remember that one.
Fire.
Julian's first. I mean, that one's going to live on for forever, right?
Yeah.
What about you, JoJo?
His the Caden to JoJo touchdown against Iowa State, back corner of the end zone, was pretty sick. The most odd touchdown of the season scored by this football team, if you remember, against Houston. Ryan Staub flipped at the goal line, and touchdown ends up going to Zach Atkins, who recovered the fumble in the end zone. That was a pretty crazy play as well. So those two probably stick out to me.
What was the first touchdown of the season too? The Caden scramble and throw to Kalen Taylor.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. Yeah, that was fire.
Yep. You know what? My favorite touchdown hasn't happened yet, Scotty. How about that?
I love that answer. Hell yeah, we're about to see it. We're about to see it this weekend.
Yeah, hell yeah. Shut up, Taco Bell.
Shut up.
We'll talk about this definitely more tomorrow as well. We're gonna get RK's thoughts on it, and we're just gonna probably talk about it again because it was fucking awesome. Shedeur Sanders proves that he is Shedeur Sanders, and he is him. Put the thing up. It's just crazy that we find ourselves at this point that I knew we'd eventually find ourselves at, where you can say what you want. The Cleveland Browns can do what they want. The NFL can do what they want. At some point in time, Shedeur's gonna have to play football. And when he was going to play football, I would have put the house on him looking like Shedeur Sanders. That's exactly what happened. And that's why we made a lot of money on Bet365 this weekend.
Well said, bro. I'm just so happy for him, man, that he was able to take advantage of that opportunity. An opportunity that for a couple weeks there, I was unsure it was going to happen. But it was inevitable, man. Shedeur Sanders is inevitable. And for him to take advantage of that, get a win, get a road win, play well, really just make, in my opinion, obviously the one mistake, but, keeping his offense afloat, especially when as we know, not much help out there for him. I will say that boy 44, Harold Fannin, is really like that. And I can see him and Shedeur really growing a rapport and taking this thing to the next level. Shout out to Isaiah Bond as well. But yesterday was obviously about Shedeur, man. The poise that he showed, again, the swag, the leadership, his words post-game, pre-game, that was everything. And it was just the beginning, though, man, because as he said after the game, man, he was like, that's just 1 week of practice. Let me get a full offseason. Let me get a couple weeks under my belt. It's going to get dangerous. And I completely believe it, man. It's going to be fascinating to see, assuming Dylan Gabriel is back healthy this week, what Kevin Stefanski and them do. But what you can say is that Shedeur didn't acquit himself well in his first NFL career start. And again, that damn 52-yard bomb to Isaiah Bond rolling to his right. Best throw by a Cleveland Browns quarterback this season. And the second best throw by Cleveland Browns
doubt.
quarterback this season was Shedeur's throw last week in relief to Harold Fannin on a 25-yard completion. So the arm talent discrepancy between him and Dylan Gabriel is miles apart. And the talent gap between those two guys is miles and miles apart. And I think it's ironic that I use the word miles because Myles Garrett, he see it. And that's the franchise right there. And I think we all know him, Denzel Ward included, Jerry Jeudy included. We know who they want out there. And, yeah, man, I can't wait to see 12's next opportunity because it's going to be even more lit for sure, Ski.
I think that's the best throw by a Cleveland quarterback I've seen in 6-7 years. I mean, seriously, my mind immediately goes to the Baker Mayfield throw. I think it's against the Panthers. He threw it 70-some yards. I think it was to Jarvis Landry, of all people.
Yeah.
That was his rookie year, I believe. So, I mean,
Probably.
That's the one that comes to mind. Yeah, I mean, look, this – I don't know. Let's hope this bullshit ended. But if Stefanski goes back to Gabriel, bro, the Cleveland Browns fan base might burn the stadium to the ground this week.
They're going to tweak out, and rightfully so.
Absolutely. This can't keep going on. If he does this, man, I mean, not to pick on the negatives here, but like if he does that, how does Andrew Berry not fire him?
And that's another thing, too. Clearly, it's become clear that Andrew Berry was the one who made that call.
Yes, by far.
It's become clear, and I agree with you. I don't – because if like I said, if those players that I just mentioned want Shedeur out there, and the GM wants him out there, and the owner wants him out there, what are we doing?
It makes no sense. None of this has made any sense to this point. I don't know. Maybe Kevin Stefanski is just a pawn in all this. Who knows, bro? Because there's clearly so much more to this than just football. I mean, we don't have to get into it all, but Shedeur's just, I mean, it's just unfortunate, man. Like, this should have happened sooner. He should have been given reps throughout the offseason to kind of build up to this point, as opposed to, November 23rd, the week before, trying to build up, So
Right.
I hope this is really like the start of it. And whatever has gone on the last 6-7 months, we can finally all put it behind us, because it's been ridiculous. Now the Browns, they have a chance. I know it was the Raiders. I know they're terrible, but they have something with that defense, man. Like, Shedeur doesn't even have to go crazy. Like, he just has to stay out of the way and steer the ship. They need more weapons, yes. I mean, the tight ends are good, but they need to get better at wide receiver, and that's clearly not going to happen this last month or so. But what he showed is clearly something you can work with. And just seeing the excitement of the team, that Myles Garrett still from that long pass says everything. It says everything you need to know about this.
And let's not forget the history of Cleveland Browns quarterbacks making their first start for that franchise. Historically, they are set up to fail. Shedeur was the first Browns quarterback to win his first start for that franchise since 1995. Previously, Browns quarterbacks in their first start, 0-17. Like, that's a generational curse. That type of stuff. That Shedeur just broke. And again, people are going to say, hey, it's the Raiders. The Raiders are ass, and they're 2-8. And okay. All right. We'll see.
That doesn't apply at all, because if Shedeur went out there and looked like shit, it's, you can't even beat the Raiders, blah, blah. I mean,
exactly, bro.
It's so toxic, bro. Yeah, it's so bad. It's you can't talk about this guy at all with any nuance, and just expect a level-headed conversation with the general public. It's crazy.
But you're right, though. And that's actually a good point that Jesus brings up in the chat. What the Broncos do against the Raiders a few weeks ago.
He looked better than Bo.
That's what I'm saying.
Damn straight.
That's what I'm saying. So that's a good point by Jesus. But you mentioned, though, about the defense, though. This Browns defense is, like, special, bro. If Shedeur wake up on Sundays knowing we just gotta put the ball in the end zone 3 times. I don't even gotta throw 3 passing touchdowns. We just gotta put the ball in the end zone
at most
3 times. At most, agreed. And more times than not, we gonna win. And sometimes we're gonna win comfortably just doing that, like they did yesterday. And that was part of the reason why I was excited about the fit pre-draft, because it's like, Shedeur ain't never had no defense like this for real. Shedeur ain't never really, at least at Colorado, never had no running game for real. And now Judkins already looked like a dude out the gate, and now Sampson is starting to come along. Looked really explosive yesterday. That is like I said, just two luxuries that Shedeur, again, at least in his Colorado career, just wasn't afforded. And while he can, as he acclimates to the NFL game, doesn't have to be Superman like how he had to be so often in Colorado. Like the weight, the pressure that probably takes off of him mentally is massive. And it's why I'm so sure as long as he continues to be given opportunities that they found their guy and they're going to be able to surround him and that elite defense with players, because they already have a few. They got 2 first-round picks next year, I believe. I think maybe 2 in each of the next 2 years, actually, I think. They could potentially be set up nicely if they do the right thing and build this thing around number 12.
We'll see. It's the biggest if of the entire equation, honestly. It really is. Real quickly on the Big 12, and then we'll get out of here. Starting at the top, BYU, Cincinnati. It was close early. 10-7 at halftime. Well, yeah, they pulled away for sure in the second half. They end up winning by 12. LJ Martin goes absolutely nuclear. 32 carries, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bear Bachmeier also ran 13 times for 46 yards and a touchdown. BYU as a team ran the ball 49 times for 265 yards. That's 5.4 yards per carry and 3 touchdowns.
Hey, that BYU Texas Tech rematch in the title game going to be lit.
Yep.
I don't care.
LJ Martin also had 44 yards receiving. He's by far the best back in this conference, it seems.
Sure about that?
You gonna contest that?
I thought you were all in on Dickey.
Yeah, Dickey's up there. But look, I know Dickey has a much better offensive line though.
Than BYU's?
Yes.
Okay. And you were saying on Saturday too that Raleek Brown up there for you too, right?
One of the most, if not the most underrated player in the conference, I feel like.
Fair.
We saw it in person, but this guy, Raleek Brown, not to talk too much about ASU, but he's really been running well for them. He just went over 1,000 yards with that game. Clearly he went over 200 and all that, but he's been doing this season. Like this, what happened to Colorado, what he did to them isn't like a shock at all. Going back to Cincy, Brendan Sorsby had to throw 38 times, had a pick. They only run 23 times for 87 yards. It's the Big 12, man. We talk about it every week. We're going into another same week, same game type of thing anyways with K-State.
Stop the run, stop quarterback run. Yep, it's going to be the same conversation.
All right, let's just get into it. K-State, Utah. Damn. I'm going to try and look up the win probability here because Utah was down 10 with like 2 minutes left, right? Yep. So with 3 minutes.
K-State was up 12 with 7 minutes left in the game.
Well, with 3 minutes and 46 seconds left, Kansas State is up by 10 points. Utah has the football. Devin Dampier takes a sack on second down, 12-yard sack. At that point in time, K-State had a 97% chance of winning the football game.
That's crazy.
And it just, clearly fell off a cliff. Avery Johnson he's the ultimate just like has to shoot yourself in the foot type of guy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's like that sign or like that old sign where it's like 10 hours since shenanigans or like chaos or something. It's like there's a clock at Avery Johnson's head where it's like, you know what? It's been a little bit too long since I've done something ridiculous. Let me go ahead and do something here.
Your team ran for 472 yards, and he found a way to mess that up. That's unbelievable.
That's the only way you do mess that up is by throwing them the football.
He had 47 points, almost 500 rushing yards. You're up by 10 with 3 minutes left. He had a 2-point conversion. He throws the other way. He had another pick six late in the game. He finishes the game 12 of 23, 102 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Chris Kleiman's just breaking down on the podium. And it's because of Avery Johnson.
It is. It really is, man. Yeah.
They got to figure that out this offseason.
He needs to change the scenery, dog. I think.
He needs it too, yes. He absolutely needs it too.
I think so. And honestly, like I said, that Kleiman post-game presser seemed like a coach who was done.
Yeah, that was rough. I've never seen a coach do that.
Yeah.
Brutal for Utah, too. I think they lost one of their starting tackles, carted off the field in that game as well. So that's obviously massive for them going into the final week of the season. TCU wins a close one against Houston. TCU was kicking a last-second field goal, I believe, to win that game. Iowa State rolls against Kansas. Arizona rolls against Baylor. And UCF in the Trash Bowl beats Oklahoma State 17-14. Shout out UCF. 5 wins. UCF is a win away from bowl eligibility. Who would have guessed that?
No, they won't get it.
They
got BYU this week.
Yeah, absolutely not. Although,
man,
Big 12.
Go
ahead,
bro. UCF is going to win more games than Colorado this year.
They already have.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's fucking jeez Louise.
I mean, Colorado's 15th out of 16th in the conference. They're just ahead of winless Oklahoma State. So
it's a damn shame.
It is a damn shame. This show is over, which is also a damn shame.
Over, you mean today?
Today, yes.
Gotcha.
Of course. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk more about it. We have Coach Prime for the last time tomorrow as well, so that'll be interesting, of course. Last-minute super chat from Tom Jr. Carlson. Shout out to Tom, man. Thank you for always supporting, brother.
Appreciate you, Tom.
Tom's a real one. He says, was at the Browns game with my son yesterday. It was incredible seeing number 2, in parentheses, number 12, succeed. He looks so comfortable. Annoyed with CU fan board slamming Coach Prime for being there. #SCO. I mean, look, if you're criticizing Coach Prime for being there, that's your own prerogative, man. That says more about you than anything else.
I just can't relate to those kind of people.
Yeah. All right. We'll see y'all then tomorrow then. Scotty, you have a good one, brother. Let's go, Buffs.
Squad.
We all silly like the mayor.